Hey Thunderbolts, it's me, Static The Hedgehog here. Today on Friday, I read the next history of the SATAM Characters. And forgive me that I read not quite well because words can be difficult sometimes. But anyway, that's all for now and let us begin. So the next character today is Snively. In the past, Snively and his uncle Julio collaborated with the sorcerer Negus, who had discovered the void. One day, Julio was to send Negus into the void and pour him out after an hour. After Negus ventured into the void, however, Snively was ordered by Julian to trap Negus on the other side of the portal into the void forever and prevent any way for him to return. Years ago, Julian served as the Minister of War in service to the King of Mobotropolis, with assistance from Snively. After Julian ensured Mobotropolis' victory in the Great War, Snively plotted with Julian to take over Mobotropolis. On the 3rd in the year 3224, Snively received orders from his uncle to prepare the palace attack force. Sometime later, Snively was supervising the work on the destroyer when Julian joined him. While Snively was excited that he and his uncle were going to rule Robotropolis, Julian just dashed Snively's hopes of equal rulership by reprogramming all the robots so that they would only respond to his voice. Snively was then grabbed by the collar by his uncle, and it was treated into calling him sir instead for uncle from the on. Afterward, Snively and Dr. Robotnik seized power over Mobotropolis and changed it to the city named Robotropolis. Over the years, Snively and Robotnik tried to locate the Knockout Village, which held the headquarters of the Knockout Freedom Fighters, whose members included Sonic the Hedgehog and Sally. Snively eventually welcomed back Dr. Robotnik and Kloop when they returned to Robotropolis from a trip. Inside Robotnik's headquarters, Snively informed Robotnik that Tails had been detected on one of the monitors. Snively was later present at the meeting where Dr. Robotnik explained that his boss bombers were going to fly to the Great Force and reveal the location of the Knockout Village by destroying the force with special chemicals on the Snively guidance. The next day, Snively guided boss bombers to attack the Great Force, but they were repelled by the freedom fighters with water balloons fired from the catapults. As the bomb bombers withdrew from the battlefield, Robotnik uploaded his frustration on Snively. Snively eventually bugged to capture the cat, whom the SWAT had caught while breaking into the Steelbot hangar. To Dr. Robotnik, later, upon the instruction from Robotnik, Snively sent the Steelbot to pursue Sonic. When Sonic, Sally, and Antoine were later detected just inside Robotropolis, Snively followed Robotnik's orders and sent 3 Steelbots after them. However, due to the sabotage, the Steelbot soon got destroyed. Later, Snively helped Robotnik copy to appearance the personality data from Sally, whom the SWAT bots had caught, and install into a Sally bot, who was to be rescued by Sonic and taken to a knockout so Robotnik could discover the location of Sage Village. After preparations had been made, Snively tried Robotnik-sized Sally, but the Robotnik-sizer malfunctioned, leaving Snively to postpone to roboticization procedure until the next day. In the meantime, Snively monitored Sonic when he arrived to save Sally from prison. The next day, Snively had repaired the roboticizer and got ready to roboticize Sally. but then someone opened one of the pipes, covering the room in smoke. While Snively went to fix it, he did not realize that Sonic has arrived and he had to Sallybot to take Sally's place in the robotic sizer. After getting rid of the smoke, Snively tried to robotic size the Sallybot. However, Snively was forced to flee afterward as the roboticization and procedure had caused Sallybot to go out of the control and begins to destroying everything around it. Later, Snively was repairing the robotic sizer. However, he got interrupted by Sonic and Sally, who had detected in the air duct. Snively tossed and swatted after them. However, they managed to flee. Later, in Mega, after the knockout freedom fighters managed to get the secret scrolls, Snively appeared alongside Robotnik in the front of the heroes in the company of several SWAT to take a scroll from the heroes. Sonic, however, distracted Snively, Robotnik and their lackeys, thus allowing his friends to escape before withdrawing himself. In response, Robotnik had Snively deploy a surveillance orb to track Sonic. Snively, Robotnik, and the SWAT subsequently followed Sonic to a tunnel, where Sonic was hiding in. Suddenly, however, the villains got blown off in the cliff by a gust of wind and coming out of the tunnel. Surviving the fall, Snively and Robotnik eventually climbed back to the top of the cliff. Sometime after, Snively read aloud some research and he had done about the Forbidden Zone to Robotnik. Along the way, Snively told Robotnik about the wizard Laterzzz, who slept in the Forbidden Zone with his computer, that he was capable of casting the powerful spells. With Robotnik using it to get Laterzz's computer, Snively went to the Forbidden Zone and brought Laterzz's guardian to Robotnik so they could talk. Eventually, Robotnik tricked the guardian into letting him enter the resting place of Laterzz's. After Dr. Robotnik stole Laterzz's computer, Snively helped bring Robotnik back to its headquarters. Snively then saw Robotnik teleport Sally and Bonnie to him and hypnotized them into doing his bidding with the computer. Afterward, the Doctor managed to teleport Sonic to him with the computer and ordered Sally and Bonnie to bring him to the robotic sizer so Snively could start the robotic sizing. Sonic, however, broke free and escaped with his friends after neutralizing the spells Robotnik had cast by stealing Laterzz's computer. Sometime after, Snively informed Robotnik about the destruction of Robotropolis' power generator at the hands of the knockout freedom fighters. However, Snively destroyed the city power by launching the backup generator. Later, when Robotnik was thinking about ways to destroy Sonic, Snively suggested the organizing a race to Sonic would surely to try to compete in. This way, they would be able to set a trap for him. This idea earned Snively praise from Robotnik. Snively later helped Robotnik test out a super fast robot cheetah which would be able to challenge Sonic's speed. Later, during the race, Snively used a survival trap against Sonic, but none of them worked, which enraged Robotnik. Later, when Sonic left the racing track, Snively could not find him. Soon after, the power in Robotropolis went out. As it turned out, Sonic helped his friends to destroy Robotropolis' backup generator. Snively and the SWAT bots group later supervised the felling of the Great Forest, which was being the spear headed by the Shredder. While in the company of the SWAT bots, Snively explained that the Shredder could take the life energy from the trees, which would help Dr. Robotnik finish the sonic radar. Sonic, however, soon appeared and destroyed the shredder, forcing Snively to escape. After returning Robotropolis, Robotnik ordered him to rebuild the shredder. While Robotnik worked on the sonic radar, however, Snively informed Robotnik that Antoine wanted to meet him to discuss the price for handing a power ring over him. After Antoine was caught, Snively accompanied Robotnik will that later the test that sonic radar, which was powered by the power ring. After the radar laser symmetrically hit Sonic, Snively and Robotnik flew to the Great Forest, bringing the shredder and sonic radar with them. When Sonic and Antoine later returned and came running towards them, Snively, upon Robotnik's orders, fired the sonic radar laser at the heroes. However, Sonic tricked the sonic radar into firing at the shredder, destroying it. Soon after, the heroes managed to recover the power ring, destroy the sonic radar, and escape, leaving Snively and Robotnik to return to Robotropolis. Snively later supervised the launching procedure of the Spy, a space station filled with a spy sensor for the finding knuckle for Robotnik as it was sent into space. Eventually, informed Robotnik about the detection of some electromagnetic radiation coming from the Great Forest. Following Robotnik's instruction, Snively launched a steel bot to that location. When Sonic and Rotor were later detected on board to the Sky Spy, Snively informed Robotnik about its alert to the crew. Later on, Robotnik ordered Snively to cancel the steel bot's mission, as the Sky Spy had been destroyed. Sometime after, Snively watched over the Cloudbuster as it was being delivered to Dr. Robotnik on the island of Nimbus, where it was collecting the chemicals needed to fill the atmosphere with acid and create toxic rain. During the ride, however, Snively ordered the convoy carrying the Cloudbuster to stop when an explosion appeared on the road. He then had the SWAT boss investigate the matter. Later, the SWAT boss brought him Sally, Antoine, and Bonnie, who had tried to sabotage the Cloudbuster. With prisoners on board to the convoy, Snively took Sally, Antoine, and Bonnie to the island of Nimbus and delivered them to Robotnik. Later, he helped Robotnik pilot the Cloudbuster and spray chemicals into the sky. However, Sonic will create a massive oil spout that hit Cloudbuster. With the Cloudbuster getting flooded with the oil, Snively and Robotnik fled to the Robotnik hovercraft and activated its stealth mode, allowing them to escape the crashing Cloudbuster unseen. The worker then wanted to shoot Sonic with his hovercraft missile, but Snively warned him not to do it as the world crashed as a result. Regardless, Robotnik tried to do it anyway, only to discover that his hovercraft would not respond to the circuitry damage. As such, Snively and Robotnik had to return to Robotropolis. Snively would later supervise Robotnik's snake prop equipped oil whip. He soon informed the doctor about the state of the oil extraction, but Robotnik ordered him to speed up the work. Later, together with Robotnik, Snively would fly around the vicinity of the oil platform using Robotnik hovercraft. From the hovercraft, they saw Sonic attack the oil platform and destroy it. Snively later joined Robotnik in his hovercraft, with the three steel bots accompanying them. on a mission that captured the migrating theropods. For this mission, Snively himself had prepared a special cage to catch these animals with. When Robotnik surrounded some theropods and the knockout freedom fighters, accompanying them with the force field, and Snively dropped to the cage and caught Mama T. But when the cage was being pulled back up to the hovercraft, Sonic and Bonnie interfered and got Mama T out of the cage. Soon after, the heroes managed to escape from the force field after Sonic cut a hole in with a power ring to enhance its super spin. After the escapees got away, Snively continued to the pilot Robotnik's hovercraft. When Sonic later cast their intention, Snively followed Robotnik's order and began pursuing Sonic. However, after the steel bots got destroyed by Sonic when lured them into a field formed of Oscorp's plans, Robotnik snatched the controls from Snively and stabilized his hovercraft's course, thus keeping the hovercraft from colliding with the Scorp's plans as well. However, the lost track of the heroes and the theropods forced them to give up the pursuit. Snively eventually helped Dr. Robotnik use Ari to lure Sonic into a trap in a specially designed fortress. While he noted that Sally could be a problem, all Robotnik cared about was that Sonic fell for Alice's decade. After Sonic was lured into a fortress, Robotnik forced him to play a game of pinball with him. Snively suggested that they should crush Sonic immediately, but Robotnik insisted on toying with his arch-enemy. When Ari later came to Robotopolis to have his freedom fight released in exchange for helping Robotnik, Snively showed Ari his comrades of Robotnik's orders. However, to Ari's shock, they all have been robotic-sized, just as Ari was to be taken to robotic size as well. Deuces appeared and froze both Snively and Robotnik, thus finding an area to escape. Sometime after, Snively prepared to Shriekbot for Dr. Robotnik. Snively himself promised that this jet will be able to catch up to Sonic. However, when the Shriekbot was pitted against Sonic, Sonic used his power ring to escape it. Afterward, Robotnik accused Snively of lying to them, but Snively promised that he would add more jet engines to the Shriekbots, which would allow to catch Sonic next time. When Sonic later got captured by Sir Charles, Snively, on the order of Robotnik, launched to improve its Shriekbots. This time, however, the Shriekbots get destroyed while pursuing Sonic, make Robotnik furious at Snively. Dr. Robotnik later informed Snively that he was leaving for some time, but in the end of the freedom fighter uprising up north. Robotnik therefore left Snively in the charge while he was gone, leaving all the Robotopolis under his control. Soon afterwards, Snively saw that Sonic had broken into robotic fighter Felicity to save some freedom fighter from roboticization. A techbot in particular has also informed Snively that Sonic has been hit by memory scrambler and lost his memory. Snively thus went in search of Sonic Robotnik's hovercraft. Upon finding him, he introduced himself to Sonic as friends, with the secret intention of using him to locate the Knockout Village. Afterwards, Snively gave Sonic a walkie-talkie and followed his progress as he was sent off to fight the Knockout. After Tails led Sonic there, Snively checked Sonic coordinates and prepared to head out. Together with a group of SWAT bots, Snively headed into a great force and met up with Sonic there. There, he ordered Sonic to gather all the Knockout freedom fighters in one place. However, The hedgehog could not find them. Snively thus ordered his SWAT bots to turn their head sensors on. Thanks to them, the robots found the freedom fighters who were hiding in an underground shelter. Snively then treated them all the memory the scramble before ordering a battalion of the steel bots to the bombed Noko. Since Sally was not among his prisoners, however, Snively sent Sonic out to catch her. Sonic after returning, but it turned out that he had regained memories. As such, Sonic took Snively's memory scrambler and used it against him. After Snively lost his memory, Sonic, Sally, and Sir Charles took him to Robotropolis and changed the coordinates of the knockout to that of the Great Swamps. Additionally, Sonic told Snively that Robotnik his enemy. Snively then said goodbye to Sonic when he left with his friends. When Robotnik then returned, Snively began to challenge and attack him. However, when Robotnik knocked him away, Snively suffered a blow to the head that restored his memory. Snively then saved him from Robotnik's threat by telling him that he had found Knockout. Together with the doctor, Snively went to the Great Swamp and tried to find the Knockout there, releasing that the coordinates were incorrect. Snively's history was later slightly altered when Sonic and Sally went back in time to stop Robotnik before he rose to power in Mobotropolis. However, they arrived too late, and Robotnik managed to seize the power in Mobotropolis, like in the original timeline. However, when Snively came with Robotnik to capture the king, they encountered the resistance from the Sir Charles, who neutralized their robots. They also witnessed Sonic's speed for the first time when he took Sally with him and fled. Snively later sent a destroyer out for Robotnik, whose purpose was to spread the pollution and destroy all the nature in path. Snively later informed Robotnik that 2 prisoners had escaped from prison, among them a blue hedgehog. Robotnik remarked, however, that it was nothing to worry about. Snively then went with Robotnik to robotic-sized young Bonnie, only for the robotic-sizer to go offline for the 2 hours. While Snively working on bringing into robotic-sizer back online, however, he eventually met present-day Sonic and Sally, who had broken out of the computers of Robotnik's headquarters. There, Sonic told Snively that he should enjoy his hair while he could. Sonic then took Sally and escaped with her, but the wind created from Sonic takeoff tore almost off the hair of Snively's head. Deciding to remember Sonic for this, Snively would carry a gas at Sonic from there on. Snively later showed Robotnik video feed of Sonic and Sally attacking the destroyer, which he was brought down by Sabina. Getting angry, Robotnik ordered Snively to prepare the robotic sizer. Snively later awoke Dr. Robotnik in the middle of the night when Sonic was detected in Robotropolis. Upon Robotnik's orders, Snively sent SWATbots and the latest Megamax unit after Sonic. However, Sonic managed to escape with the aid of the dragon Dulcie. Afterward, Dr. Robotnik began to wonder where the dragons were coming from, as he thought he had the robotic-sized them all. As such, upon Robotnik's orders, Snively used the might prop on a robotic-sized dragon in order to learn the dragon's secrets. After draining the robotic dragon's might, Robotnik learned that he could find more dragons at the dragon's nest. Snively then prepared Robotnik's command ship for him. After Robotnik came back to Robotropolis with the mother dragon that he had caught, Snively had Robotnik interrogate her. He also accompanied Robotnik when he escorted the mother dragon to the dragon robotic sizer. Along the way, Robotnik warned Snively that he should expect the freedom fighters to intervene. Snively thus ordered their backup forces to be prepared. However, Sonic and his friends saw through to the villain's strategy. As such, they managed to return Megamod and units against Snively and Robotnik, and he saved the mother dragon. Snively later noticed the void activity in the Great Unknown. Counting on this being a sign of Negus was finding success in escaping from the void, he suspected that Negus would come after Robotnik. Snively subsequently warned Robotnik against the potential return of Negus, and the Doctor listened to him for once. Snively and Robotnik thus prepared Robotnik's command ship and flew the Great Unknown. And encountering Sonic there, they managed to intercept him at a portal into the void and force him into it. When Snively tried close the portal, however, he met resistance from Negus. As such, Robotnik told him to wait and shoot anyone who tried to exit to the portal. After some time, Sonic pulled the king out of the void. However, the king turned out to be Negus in disguise. Negus then left Sonic to save his friends who were stuck in the void while he dealt with the terrified Robotnik. Snively would subsequently laugh the hysterical when Negus began to eliminate Robotnik. When Negus then allowed the Doctor to escape, Snively took Robotnik with him and flew away in the command ship. Eventually, Snively informed Dr. Robotnik that the Wolfpack had damaged the test Doomsday pod in the Great Unknown. Snively was thus sent out there by Robotnik to repair the Doomsday pod and find the Wolfpack. During the repairs, Robotnik contacted Snively to hear when he was done with the repairs, to which Snively replied would be done soon. Before hanging up to the Snively talk, and Robotnik reminded him to look for the Wolfpack after the Doomsday pod was fixed. Snively used his threat sensor and boarded the Robotnik hovercraft to look for the Wolfpack. Shortly thereafter, he found Sonic, Sally, and Antoine and the Wolfpack finding the Doomsday pod. Soon after, Sonic raided the whirlwind that swallowed up the Doomsday pod and hurled it at Robotnik's hovercraft. Despite this, the Doomsday pod was not destroyed and it soon took the air again. Meanwhile, Snively relaunched the Robotnik hovercraft. As he searched for the Wolfpack, Robotnik contacted Snively and told him to send him his recordings. After he saw them, informed to Snively that the wolves were masking the entrance to their hiding place in the canyon walls. Following Robotnik's direction, Snively eventually found a cave entrance and sent some SWAT in there. Eventually, the SWAT brought Sonic and Sally to Snively. As Snively glutted, however, Sonic and Sally revealed that they had to trick him by neutralizing the SWAT bots and tying him up. With Snively incapacitated, the duo stole the plans for the Doomsday pods. Snively was later sent to Laterzzz by Dr. Robotnik to dig out the 3 skulls that revealed to the deeper power Tone's location, which Robotnik planned to use for the Doomsday project. While working, Snively first found the first skull. Soon after, he was brought Tails, whom they SWAT boss had found trespassing on the excavation. Moments later, however, Sonic arrived and overpowered Snively, whom he forced to release Tails and make the SWAT boss return in their station. Sonic and Tails then took Snively to excavation excavation to side power station and asked him how to turn off, but Snively told him it was too complicated to explain. Despite this, Tails managed to turn off the power station. Sonic and Tails left Snively to complain about his life. He later contacted Robotnik, who has noticed the dirty appearance. Snively explained to the doctor that appearance was due to a scuffle with Sonic and Tails, and that he had managed to restore the power station after the heroes turn it off. He also added that he had found the second skull. After hearing this, Robotnik decided to come to the drought hang and personally. The next day, Snively welcomed Robotnik on the arrival and took the part in the excavation of the first deep power stone. While inspecting one of the Robotropolis factories, Snively noticed that suspicious behavior of the robotic-sized Sir Charles. Later, he was sent a fuel tanker Comfy to the Doomsday Machine. When Sonic lured some of the guards around the Comfy away, Snively contacted Robotnik and showed him what it was happening. Upon seeing this, Robotnik told Snively to order the guards to return the Comfy since Sonic was clearly distracting them. After the freedom fighter fled after sabotaging the fuel tankers, Robotnik hung up on Snively. When Snively was later sitting around in Robotnik's headquarters, Robotnik came to him and put on a special mask on him. The doctor explained that his mask kept anyone from eavesdropping on them, as he suspected that it was spy in their midst, which will explain why the freedom fighters were pretending his every move. Snively and Robotnik later found a eavesdropping box in the air ducts. Instead of destroying it like the Snively suggested, however, Robotnik only told him to damage it, because he counted on the spy appearing to replace it. While later at work, Snively found Edward fading out of an air duct in the front of him, which made Snively conclude that Edward was the spy. Snively thus began to interrogate Antoine with the torture in the form of the poor preparation of the French cuisine. However, he was interrupted by the appearance of Sonic, who rescued Antoine. Snively thus had to apologize to Robotnik for allowing Antoine to flee. After a while, however, he introduced Robotnik to the real spy, Sir Charles. Snively and Robotnik thus began interrogating Charles, but they were interrupted by the appearance of Sonic. After Sonic saved Charles, he created a whirlwind that scared Snively and his SWAT against the wall in the room before escaping with Charles. Snively later joined Robotnik at the Doomsday Machine and participated in the launch of the Doomsday Project, which was proposed to destroy all life on the planet. When the freedom fighters attacked the Doomsday Machine, Snively informed Robotnik that Sonic and his team had gotten inside. He suggested eliminating them, but Robotnik wanted him to look around his machine for a bit. Later, Snively monitored Sonic and his friends in the Doomsday Part factory for Robotnik. He then began to question Robotnik's plans, only to get remade by Robotnik. Robotnik told him to open the hole in the ceiling which he wanted to fly across in order to reach the main power generator. After doing as he was ordered, Snively sensed that it would end badly. Snively's intuition later turned out to be correct. When Robotnik tried to robotic-size Sonic, the Hedgehog overloaded the machine with the three power rings and escaped from the Doomsday Machine. Later, after Sonic and Sally returned to the Doomsday Machine generator, Snively informed Robotnik about the intruders. Upon seeing that Sonic and Sally had the both deep power stones, the Doctor told them to send the SWAT bots to catch the heroes and retrieve the stones. However, it was too late, and Sonic and Sally used the power of the deep power stones to rampage just to the Doomsday machine. Eventually, Robotnik escaped in its hovercraft, but did not let Snively come with him. Left behind the Doomsday machine, Snively hit an elevator, which took him to underground. After the Doomsday machine was destroyed and Dr. Robotnik had disappeared, Snively emerged in the new disguise and decided to take control of her uncle empire. He was not alone, however, because he was accompanied by Neckers, who had been freed from the void. Snively is devious, mean, passive, aggressive, and hates Sonic, his friends, and his uncle with a passion. However, he also quite a cowardly person, living and working constant fear of his mirrorless uncle Fred. He often complains about his life. Despite the fact that he is afraid of his uncle Todd, Sniffy will often take stress about him behind his back. However, whenever Robotnik seems to hear Sniffly insult, he distorts his words and tries to act an obedient assistant. Like Robotnik, in the event of a failure, Sniffly can get angry like a child and throw tantrums. Like his uncle, Snively also wants power for himself and would like to take control of Robotnik's empire. As such, he plotted to overthrow Robotnik and take control of his empire, waiting just for a right moment to step in and take action. He also considered his strategies and plans to be much better than Robotnik's, and looks down on the way Robotnik tends to toy with his enemy instead of the outrage eliminating them. Like Dr. Robotnik, Snippy possesses a brilliant intellect, as well as the ability to build and operate machines. Although the vast majority of the robots scenes are designed by Robotnik, Snively is often to one of the piloting or steering them from behind the wheels in different vehicles or controls. He also knows the ins of the out of Robotropolis system. Like Robotnik, Snively also knows how to strategize and uses others to his advantage. Although he is less tactically competent than his uncle. So that is all for now. I hope you all enjoyed the history of the characters that you learn about. And for the next time, next time is the very last character that I read on Friday. I read on Friday. So have a nice day and enjoy your day. Laterzzz Thunderbolts. Bye.